Good evening. It's usually good morning, but tonight, it's tonight. This is my first time that I've filmed in the evening ever for this channel. So, just to let you know, today is December 22nd. And again, I haven't driven this vehicle other than test driving it around town for a couple of, well, for at least a month. So it's about freezing right now. We have a little bit of snow, but it's a clear sky, and for that matter, this week has been great. It's been, well, it's been cold, but it hasn't been raining. It hasn't been, well, it hadn't been snowing. And so the alley has melted out a little bit. Noisy dog. Anyway, I wanted to run around town here for a few moments, give you an update. And I told one of my subscribers that I would film Craig. We talked about it, and he said it'd be cool if I filmed it, you know, at the Christmas lights. So here we go. Not entirely sure where I'm going to go here, but let's start here. That's a really pretty house. A lot of these things, well, I guess you're seeing them. You know, I don't do a lot of let's go this way. I don't do a lot of work as far as what I'm going to video, where and how, usually because I'm driving somewhere. That's all pretty. Just not sure how these lights are going to come out, but we'll give this a try. This is my first time. I'm just experimenting, y'all. So bear with me. Anyway, right now we're on 9th Street here in Bragg. If I drive straight out, we're driving west right now. We'll go out to what used to be the trailer park back when we were building the power plant here at Craig. I don't know if you know this, you probably don't, but Craig has got the largest power plant in Colorado, the largest coal-fired power plant working in Colorado. Needless to say, Craig is the most hated town by the state. This is what I'm told. And I agree. In fact, I heard a story a few weeks ago from someone that lived in another state, listening to our governor, who I certainly did not vote for, Bullis, talking about, oh, that's pretty, that's nice. Talking to some reporter back east and say, oh no, we send we will send, what is it, Hamas or whatever, or whoever is the illegal aliens at the time, right? Going to send those to Grand Junction and Craig, I think was what I heard. This is what someone told me, that someone had told them. So gossipy, yes. So we're running down. Let's do this. I was going to say Ranny, but it's not Ranny. It's, oh heck, I can't remember the name of the street. I don't get out too much. Anyway, it's a school, that the high school is just up behind us. And if you don't know, Craig is a town of about 10 or 11, 12,000 people. I'm not sure where it stands right now. It's a nice little town. It's in a beautiful valley, but it's a regular town. It's not a fancy town. It's not a ski town like Steamboat or like any of the other ski towns. It's just a regular town, and we get so maligned by the state. They say so many bad things about this town because this town is full of conservatives. If you think that I have an extremely right point of view, right? Like far right. Well, that's how the left pushes things right now. But I'm just a conservative. But the thing is I'm just one conservative in a town of thousands of conservatives. I think we're around 75% conservative in this town. No. But we're on Highway 40 now. Heading west still. I thought I'd do a loop through town. I'm kind of testing the car out too, and I thought I'd update you. My situation, everything changes, and I talked a little bit about it. First though, the really big news, right, is the Colorado Supreme Court on a 4-3 rule that Trump is ineligible to be on the ballot. So, in other words, what 4 of the judges are saying is that we live in a fiefdom now, and that our elders of the city have forbid us from, the elders of their city, the elders of the state, have forbid everyone in the state from choosing someone that they don't agree with. That's what they've said. It's obviously bullshit. I used to think that judges were extremely wise people, worthy of everyone's respect, and that their position as being untouchable, like you get sort of like a tenure, made a lot of sense, because obviously a judge is going to come up with rulings that someone's not going to like, because usually a judge is ruling in favor of someone over someone else. Well, needless to say, in the past few years, my opinion about a lot of the judges in this state, in this country, have changed a lot. Where in the hell were the judges when Donald Trump was getting the election stolen from him in real time? The left acts like that never happened because they don't want to, they like the outcome. They don't give a shit if they stole the election from the majority of the American people. They got who they wanted put into power. So But we know that's bullshit. We saw it happen. We saw the steal happening in several states. If you were paying attention, you watched it happen. People were reporting on it. The ballots that went missing, the machines that quit working, the ballot dumps in the middle of the night, the ballots that were like, what was it, like 100-1 for Biden, and bullshit like that. Things that absolutely could never happen. And it happened in several states, and it happened in Colorado too. It happened in Moffat County. So, but we're looping around here. I was on First Street just now. Now we're back on Finley Lane, the street I couldn't remember the name of. I've now remembered it. It's actually, I think it's called Mac Lane down here in Finley Lane up on the hill ahead of us. So it's just insane what these judges have done here in Colorado. But I got a little bit of backstory for that. And that is, I don't recall where I heard this. This really bothers me, but I heard it in the last couple of years. And it might be linked to the Tabor Act, which is an anti-tax suite of laws that the people voted for and put into place back in the 70s. That may have started that, or it may have been a pissing contest between two wealthy people. But what happened was the conservatives in Colorado, and Colorado was a conservative state when I was a kid. It still is a conservative state, by the way. Don't believe they call it a blue state. It's not a blue state, in all honesty. That is what they've done to us. But back in the 70s, there was a fight between conservatives and leftists in California. And I don't know what went down, what happened, but it pissed off the leftists in California, and they vowed to destroy our state back then. And they have been doing it ever since. They have done everything they can to destroy the state. We have California laws in CDOT, and you've heard me bitch about that. We have these crazy California laws, and actually, this is statewide. We have these crazy California laws about really silly things that have snuck in. Like, for instance, a glue that I use when I'm making LED lighting that I used to be able to buy locally. I can't buy it in the state now. I have to order it off eBay and get it shipped in. That is very very California. So this is the old courthouse up here. I don't know what they're doing with it anymore. All the government offices have moved back on the west side of town where we were just at. Now, you're not going to see much, obviously. You're just going to see lights, and you're going to hear me ranting, which is what someone commented. They said, am I going to rant about the judges? And I said to them, how can I not rant about the judges? So California has attacked Colorado all of my life. And they are taking this state apart. They have destroyed this state pretty badly. And I don't know how we fix this kind of stuff. If you've listened to my channel, you know I believe in God. There's something, go ahead and get over. There's something that I've noticed. When I'm, reading the Bible or something, and I'm reading about big events that happened or whatever, and a lot of the sentences start with, and God hardened his heart, and God hardened their hearts to something so that they did bad. And the point of the story was that they were making, that God wanted this thing to happen, making some point. I mean, there was a point behind it. And when I see the news today, now we're back on Highway 40, coming down Main Street. I just don't know what they're. I'm going to go ahead and get over in the middle line. I do not know what kind of Christmas decorations they have up here, because I haven't been through Craig in the evening for a long time. Anyway, all the weird things that are happening, I think about that. I think it's that bizarre what's happening, because judges are obviously intelligent people. They were attorneys. Typically, attorneys aren't stupid people. I mean, you have to study the law. The law is deep and dense and can be convoluted. And the better attorney you are, the better you can convolute the law, I guess. But the point that a panel of Supreme Court judges have made such a ridiculous ruling is, like I said, and God hardened their hearts. That explains it to me better than anything else, because what these people have done is epic. It's what they've done. It's epic. They're not stupid people. They know they're full of shit, but they're pushing their leftist bullshit on us, which they have for years. I think they just feel entitled at this point. I think they've decided that for people that will say, we have to do this or democracy will be destroyed if Trump gets in. Well, that's about a bunch of bullshit. It's like saying, I have to cut my foot off to save it. Or even better, I have to cut my foot off and run it through a meat grinder to save it. That's ridiculous. That used to be the Village Inn. We just drove by this black spot. There's a mall over to our right now. It used to be called the Centennial Mall. It hasn't really been a mall for several years. It's been basically a big empty building. Anyway, we're back on Highway 40. We've driven on the street before. I'm just kind of doing some loops. I really don't know where to go, y'all. So I'm just kind of driving around, and I think I'll drive up by the hospital and by the college next. I typically don't like to go by colleges. When I am in Laramie, I do my best to avoid filming the college, because I do not believe that colleges are institutions that people should be sending their kids to anymore. I think that is probably the worst thing you can do to your kids. So they're woke, they're evil. You know, they're the same sickness that is in society everywhere right now. And you know what I'm talking about. You can see it, I can see it. You know, what happened in Colorado is just another example of that. But this college is a community college. It was built here. I don't know that we really had a say in it. We really, in the voting that happens around here, typically is rigged. I mean, that's how I feel about it. They will start out by putting surveys out with extremely misleading questions, and they'll use the results of this misleading survey, which is destined to be whatever the people that bought the survey want it to be. They'll use that as evidence that people want something in this town, like, for instance, this hospital being moved, or the college, or whatever. And, you know, that happens to it. That happens pretty much everywhere. It's really sad. Anyway, yeah, what the judges did and what's happening in our society, what's the Supreme Court going to do? You know, if they do not rule on this which they have been real good about keeping their mouth shut about anything election related. In 2020, definitely. But you might notice that all of a sudden, these activist judges are popping up out of all these other places with rulings that push their socialist goddamn agenda. So now I have a bit of a better understanding of where the judges have been and where the judges' loyalties lie. And it is certainly not with the people, not if you look at what they're actually doing. Now, maybe the Supreme Court. So this is a hospital here in Craig. I don't want to turn there. Don't want to drive through the emergency. I'm not looking to get a ticket. It's built up on a hill, really nice. It's actually a nice place. I don't know. I'm not a. I try not to come to the hospital. As you may have suspected, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I did not partake of the tea, if you know what I mean. I am not a vaccine, a COVID vaccine believer. And in fact, I believe that COVID vaccine could have killed someone that I love dearly. And I'm heartbroken about that. Whether that was the case or not, it seems incredibly suspicious. Exactly what is happening everywhere else, right? So that was the hospital. And the ruling that happened here in Colorado, like I said, my best way to interpret that ruling is to, and now we're heading up another pretty new road. This road was put in here about 10 years ago. The best way that I can understand, or that makes sense to me, is to put, and God hardened their hearts to common sense. I'm adding the two common sense, but that's what basically the point, right? In those stories. Let's go here, take a look. I've done a little bit of work for both of these institutions because I was building LED lighting, pretty innovative stuff, really, for a small town kind of company. And so some of my work is here and some of my work is at the hospital. And actually, I may have said this, but I've got LED lighting in 49 of the 50 states, and maybe even in 50 states. And I wasn't really a mass producer of LED lighting. It was all custom built. So this is a college, community college, mainly a nursing schooling. That's the big thing that they do up here. Anyway, a few more buildings. They don't have any decorations going on up here. I thought they might have something, but apparently, well, I mean, if they're woke, Christmas is racist, right? Huh. Anyway, I don't really know what more to say about that, other than, like I said, Colorado has been under attack by the leftists in California for years. People with a shitload of money. Even worse, people that steal money from the government. And you may notice that the leftists are pretty good about that. They are sort of attached to government. It's really a very fascist system, keeping in mind that fascism is the government and business, the government and industry colluding to control the people. And you might notice that that's a great way for someone, I mean, like Bill Gates, the big guys, they get involved in this, and they leverage our money rather than their money through government programs to push socialist bullshit on our country. And that's what they're doing. I gotta say, I think they're losing. Let's see here, y'all. Where do I want to go? If you were riding around with me tonight, that'd be the same thing. I really wouldn't know where to go. I don't drive around aimlessly. I have friends that do that for me. They drive around aimlessly. They're good at it. But I always have to have a place to go. I need a route nowadays. But anyway, they have done a really good job of killing Colorado. You know. Oh, and I don't know. And I don't even know how to respond to, that. I don't know what to do about it. But I'm more convinced now that the things that are happening are very big things, and they're going to bring other big things. I think we're in one of those moments in history. It looks that way. I hope I'm wrong. But like I said again, when you can put in, when something makes sense, if you add, and God hardened their hearts to whatever, to people's will, and God hardened their hearts to, look at how many people are trying to put Trump in prison. It's lawfare, and it's bullshit. The idea that no other judges out there are doing anything about it. It's insane. I have such a hard time understanding that. Well, that's what we've got. We have a whole country where the bureaucrat apparatus has had their hearts hardened by God. It makes the best sense. I wish I had a better thing to say, but they are so nonsensical in what they're doing right now, and so damaging and so destructive. If we were the conservatives, right, the white supremacist, violent people that they said we were, we would have risen long ago, and we would have taken these people out a long time ago. They like to make a lot of hay about that, talk about, the gun situation, right? It's a damn good thing that we have weapons. That is probably one of the reasons why we still have a fighting chance, But when I say fighting chance, I mean that. We still have a fighting chance. So, anyway. But it may take fighting one of these days. It's starting to look that way. So as you can see, Craig's just a small town. I'm just hitting the main streets because things are lit up. You might be able to see a little bit. But I'll probably run through a neighborhood really quickly and see what that looks like. I haven't filmed in this car for over a month. I've been filming in the Jeep lately. And actually, I love driving the Jeep, and I think filming in the Jeep is great. The window's pretty beat up. But there's also other issues going on that I should update you about this channel, I'll just go ahead and do that. I've mentioned it before, but my job, and I haven't said where I work. One of these days I may tell you if my channel survives, but it looks like my job is crashing and burning. I've been working now 2 weeks out of the month, and then 2 weeks I'm not working. And I've accumulated a lot of vacation pay, and so I'm just using that. But it's a part-time job. I mean, but it's also, when I say a part-time job, it's a pretty serious part-time job, because I do, you know, in a week I do 600 to 800 miles, you know, in a couple days. In pretty intense weather, especially this time of the year. Now, I've been doing my best to avoid the bad roads this year, just because I've had issues with this car. So I have skipped North Park as much as I can. North Park is really where the weather is really despicable. Anyway, I don't think my job is going to last much longer. I think it's going to be done. I don't think it can survive. It's falling apart. I wish I didn't have to say that, because I have enjoyed this job. Now, here we are on the east end of town, which you probably, I think I've filmed the east end of town a couple times anyway. A lot of the times it's early morning and you can't see much, kind of like what it is today. But I thought I'd go up into this neighborhood up on the hill and see what see what kind of lights are going on. I do like looking at the lights. It's really pretty. If we were continuing on the Steamboat, well, we would have stayed on that road. That's Highway 40 again. But it looks like the company is failing. I mean, I don't see much good news. But you never know. I'm not willing to walk away just yet. There's still something left, but it's not much. But we'll see what they can do. Maybe the people that are pulling the strings can pull their heads out of their asses, quit being a woke company, and start, you know, offering value for their services. So you understand, that's my opinion about that. We are passing by the cemetery right now. There's actually some Christmas decorations out in the cemetery. That's kind of neat. Well, let's head up Baker Drive. I think I had a girlfriend that lived out here on Baker Drive for a while. She was a raging alcoholic. Oh, that's really pretty. See this? Let me kind of turn in so you can see. Well, you probably can't see it. Really nicely done. Very pretty. The problem with my camera is that, you know, you pretty much get what I get. Get that. Or you get the view that I'm pointing to, and that's basically it. But there's another subdivision. We'll run out to that subdivision also before we're done. Anyway, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be doing this channel anymore. I don't know. I'd kind of like to do it. I mean, I'm not getting paid anyway. YouTube will never pay me. YouTube has got this channel so throttled that I'm surprised anybody found it. it was pretty damn hard for me to even find this channel. I mean, it's a little easier to find now, but YouTube has, you know, their AI has done pretty good. We got a guy walking here. We're on the northeast end of town right now, kind of working our way around, and all the Christmas lights are, there are not too many of them out here, but they're not pointed in the right direction. Go down here. Truck is bright. I used to live up in this neck of the woods too. I rented a house up here. I did own some property up here also. I think it's a vacant lot, still vacant. I sold it a few years ago. I was going to build on it, but I ended up building on you know, down in downtown. That's where my house is. I built that house in 2007. Well, I started in 2005, you know, doing all the pre-work, and then, you know, got the foundation done, I think, in the summer of 2006, and got it livable in 2007. So it was a lot of fun. At the time, I had a little construction company, and so it was nice to be able to use, you know, it was fun. I like doing it. I still like doing it. I like to build that damn garage. I'm thinking, we'll turn here. If you guys like this video, I mean, let me say this about this video. This is riding around in Craig. This is no bull, riding around in Craig. Oh yeah, I want to turn here, Jeremiah. Yeah. So this would be as real. If you've ever wanted to ride along with any of my videos, this is riding along with my video. I mean, this is definitely. It's also hot in here. Let me turn that heater out. Well, they got all kinds of stuff going on up here. The projector things are kind of cool. You probably can't see those very well, but the lights are pretty. I just like the lights. We live near a town in southern Colorado, south central Colorado, I guess. Not the western side, though. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can get that. Get that view. I forgot. Been a while since I've been up here. It's just sort of a place for a panorama of the town. Let me go up here and turn around. But I lived on this street, rented a house on this street, and bought a lot on this street. And like I said, I decided I didn't want to build up here. It's a nice view up here, though. You know, it's probably about 600 feet up here, something like that. So or 400 or 500 feet above. Haven't seen any deer out tonight. There's usually, well, I see deer I don't know, they're so commonplace, I don't really see them as much as I used to. But I would bet there are several hundred head of deer that live in Craig. There you go. So let me cut that. Let's see if I can zoom that out. Does that work? A little bit. You may not have caught that or caught that very well. I'll do it one more time. Turn my lights off. Yeah. There we go. I'll be careful doing this if a car comes. Yeah, and I'm sitting out here with my lights off. Could be bad. So wherever you guys are at, I hope that you're going to have a good Christmas. I hope you don't live in a state that has been taken over as badly as Colorado has been taken over. We've basically been raped by these rotten fucking socialists. And if you may wonder why I sound so angry about socialism, well, typically everyone is angry about socialism. No one wants it. The only people that want communism, and let's call it what it really is, are the people that are going to be in power. They're the people that are going to be inflicting torture on the rest of their brothers and sisters in society. Those people want communism, want socialism. But I think it's more accurate to call it what it is, which is communism, because that's what it is. It destroys families, it destroys cities, it destroys states, it destroys countries. And these socialists have got an extremely good hold on our country right now. I don't know that they can win, but it's a big deal. Like I said, to go back to my "and God harden their hearts," but I think it's that epic what's going on here, and it's a shame. It's really a shame that we live to see days that suck so bad. I mean, the political stuff that these people are forcing on our society, have been forcing on our society for quite some time. It's pretty ridiculous. We'll go around here, see if anybody puts some Christmas lights up here. Not too many Christmas lights up here. All the teachers must live up here. Why do I say that? Well, if you know teachers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The only teacher that I know that isn't woke is part of the family. Oh yeah, I ran over some mud. You may not hear that, but I'll hear it splashing around. Anyway, headed back down. This is a peaceful little town. And yes, I'm just jumping between subject and subject. I don't really know. I don't have, God hardened my heart against doing anything organized tonight. Leave it at that. I wonder if that isn't something else. Yeah, I got a belt broken, guys. I just put a new belt on this car. That's a broken belt. Okay, so I know what I need to do now. I need to drive home so that I don't run out of power. The belt's, it's like a piece of it slapping against the hood. That's pretty. Well, yeah, I can do that. Fix that belt. Oh yeah. I definitely lost it there. I put it in neutral and revved it up. You can't really fix a belt once a belt is breaking, but the belt I think was ripping off one of the edges. But the way that my steering feels, I'm pretty sure I've lost my belt completely. So I don't understand why that happened, but I'm glad that happened here in town and not out on the road somewhere. So I guess I'll be working on my car tomorrow. Anyway, so I just wanted to update you, and I guess that the conclusion of this video will be me parking this car and working on it tomorrow. So if you wonder what I'll be doing tomorrow, that's what I'll be doing. I don't know about this job. I'll let you know. I like doing the videos. I'll just have to see what the future holds, really. But like I said, it looks to me like this job is gone. Looks like the state of Colorado has gone fucking insane. Well, that I don't think is much of a surprise. The whole country, the whole world, actually. I see, I look on Twitter and I see people posting in England, in Ireland, and in Europe. The same shit is happening all over the world. The same kind of woke bullshit. People taking power where it's not theirs to take, but they're doing it. I was talking to my brother-in-law a little bit earlier, and he was saying he likes to read some pretty crazy people. That's my opinion, but what he said made some sense to me. Oh yeah, we definitely don't have a belt anymore. I'm running on manual steering. He said that from what he was reading, the people that are in power right now are desperate, that they are losing their grasp, they're losing control, and that for them it's like all or nothing. And really that kind of fits in with how I feel about what the events that are happening all over the world, not just here in Colorado, but all over the world. So anyway, hope you liked this little drive. I liked it until about 5 minutes ago. with my brand new fan belt just destroyed. So I guess I'll deal with it tomorrow. Anyway, if you guys are driving somewhere, take care and be careful. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.